Yeah, Dr. Karthik, with you.
We are live now, sir.
Yeah, so namaskaram and welcome all. Thanks for joining both on Google Meet and YouTube. So I invite all of you for this webinar and we request all the people in Google Meet to keep themselves mute. So first of all, I would like to start this webinar by thanking Jiyyo Innovations and Jiyyo Mitra E-Clinic for creating unique opportunities for Pharm.D. And according to my knowledge, I don't think there is any other organization which have hired or looking to hire a clinical pharmacist to serve the people of villages in India. So with this brief introduction, I hand it over to Siddharth. So Siddharth ji, a lot of people in Pharm.D network already know you, but if you can just briefly introduce yourself and talk about Jiyyo, over to you. Hello. We cannot hear you. We can.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. So, hello everyone, and I am Siddharth, co-founder and CEO of Jiyyo Innovations, which is a Chandigarh-based healthcare startup focused towards rural healthcare. Okay, and so a little bit about Jiyyo, then I'll talk about myself a little bit. And so at Jiyyo, we look at the 600,000 plus India's villages and towns, right, where there is remarkably low presence of qualified and specialist doctors and diagnostic services, among other healthcare facilities. So at Jiyyo, what we do is we upgrade existing healthcare facilities like a medical store, a clinic, a nursing home, or a small hospital, single specialty hospital, by connecting it with thousands of specialists and super specialist doctors to avail, their consultations on a need basis, on demand basis, to the patients which regularly visit their premises. So there is huge amount of work which can be done in this direction, and we are super excited that I think we are pioneering this field. So so we operate about 500 plus e-clinics, starting from Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, UP, MP, Bihar, Jharkhand, Uttarakhand, Assam, and small presence in Maharashtra, Telangana, and Andhra as well. So, but again, given 600,000 plus e-clinics, 500 is again a drop in the ocean, and we look towards people like you, to help us get a grip on this very massive, potentially very massive bandwagon of healthcare, which has, I personally am kind of sold on to this idea that India can show the world the path forward in healthcare, and there are many reasons behind that, and we can talk about those things. So I'll also a little bit talk more about Jiyyo, in the sense that Jiyyo is a 100 people company right now. We have our own marketing, technical, sales, online support, coordination teams, and we are very aggressive hire. We hire very aggressively, and I think there are about five or so Pharm.D graduates working amazingly well, in our team, and they work in Dr. Abhimanyu's team, who will be soon talking about, his work. And now switching gears, a little bit about myself. So I am a computer science graduate by background from IIT Roorkee, 2004. And I followed that up by a master's in artificial intelligence data mining from Johns Hopkins University, Maryland, 2008. And then for about next 10 years, I worked in Silicon Valley, California, in various machine learning related positions in Apple, Netflix, and AT&T. So during my stay there, I was fortunate to have been exposed to amazing work cultures, great problem solvers, and cultures which enhance problem-solving attitude and non-trivial, issues. So technically, again, I think I could learn few things there, which I always wanted to apply to real life, and always, had uh, uh, a strong, will or strong, desire to return to India and try to do something worthwhile. Okay, and so could follow up on that desire in mid of 2017 when I, along with my buddy Jahid and Dr. Meghna Sharma, who is a pediatrician, and Jahid is again from IIT Roorkee Computer Science. So we three started, this initiative, and next 4 years again, very exciting, challenging as well from some perspectives. So yeah, so here we are. So I think Dr. Karthik, yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Siddharth. It was like a very inspiring journey. And it is over to Dr. Abhimanyu now, the real man of the match for today. So you can talk about your team and role of Pharm.D, what they would be doing as relationship manager and clinical pharmacist at Jiyyo.
Sure.
And
thank you so much,
also
Dr. Karthik. Yes.
Briefly introduce your and give your background.
Sure. So, hi friends, hi everyone. My name is Dr. Abhimanyu Singh Rathore. I am a psychologist. Along with that, I am a functional medicine practitioner from the US. And I have about close to 20 years plus of experience of working across 30 countries in the world with people from 42 nationalities. And what really excited me and what got me on board with Jiyyo is the fact that now finally I got a chance of contributing back to my country. Right? And that too in a mammoth vision, the vision that every village deserves a hospital. Okay. And what's better than to actually be looking after the team that is talking to the clinics on ground through who we call the health partners, right? And ensuring that we have great patient satisfaction. So this is the team. So I actually look after the team which connects the health partners. Those are the people who are the pharmacists. Those are the people who could be, as Siddharth mentioned, they could actually be people who are from a nursing diploma background. They could be people who are from a pharmacist background. There are people who could be from these varied backgrounds, and they are the people who are holding fort in each village. So we connect their patients, we connect them to the doctors. So that's the team that I look after. And that team is where the clinical pharmacists, such as yourself, are playing such a beautiful role. So what is the role that they really play? And why is it so important? The role that they really play is that of a relationship manager to these health partners. We call them health partners. So these are the health partners who are on ground, and they have the clinics, and they get connected to the doctors through our clinical pharmacists who actually understand what is it that the patient is facing, and then connect them to the doctors. That's one part of the role. The other part, which I'm told even by Dr. Karthik and even by my team, which they really find exciting, is the part where they actually get in touch with the patients to see whether they were able to understand the prescription that was given to them by the doctor or not. Were they able to follow through on the prescription or not? Were they able to comply on the prescription or not? Did they understand the various tests that were written? Do they know that what food items could interact with the drugs that are given, right? Or what existing medication that they need to be careful about if they're adding these new medications to their medication that they're taking existingly for the new condition that they have shown themselves on Jiyyo Clinic. So that's the role that they play. So primarily, it's relationship building and also ensuring that the patient is fully looked after, counseled, and is satisfied in them being able to get better as soon as possible. So that's the role that my team plays, and that's the role for which we are looking for people who, one, are comfortable speaking in Hindi. Hindi बहुत ज़रूरी है. Hindi is very important for us, क्योंकि at present, as you can see in the map behind me, at present we are mostly in those areas which are Hindi speaking. So therefore, Hindi becomes very important for us, right? And the other thing being this, that you need to have a passion. If you want to really do this role well, you need to have a passion for patient care. You need to have a passion for relationship building, where you're willing to understand this health partner on ground and support him, educate him at times, and therefore guide the patient also in the process. So that's the role that we are looking for people to join us in. Over to you, Dr. Karthik.
Yeah, so thanks for giving an outline. So as Siddharth and Dr. Abhimanyu were mentioning, Jiyyo has close to 500 or even more e-clinics, and the rate at which they are starting new clinics, I cannot imagine. When I joined Jiyyo, it was century, now 5 centuries. Okay. And great thing is now they have 4 Pharm.Ds in their team who will be constantly talking with the health partners at those villages, and also the patients who have taken consultations at Jiyyo. And as far as I know, Jiyyo has crossed consulting more than 25,000 patients. You can just imagine the amount of patients they have already served, and they are on a mission. When I see the statement, it says 1 lakh e-clinics. So, and when I see how they put on their website, 99,500 more to go. That is what I mean, the positive attitude. So if participants have any questions, you can ask now. Specifically, we are looking for people from Bihar, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand, and what is the other state? Did I miss any state?
Madhya Pradesh.
Yeah, Maharashtra.
Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra. So Pharm.D graduates specifically based in those states who can speak the local language are welcome to apply. So we will be posting a Google form link in the description of this video. Whoever is interested to join can fill that Google form and we will contact you. And meanwhile, if you have any questions, if you need further clarification, it is open. And somebody can tell us the questions on YouTube. If we get some question on YouTube, we can post in chat box. Yeah.
Yeah, hello, Dr. Karthik. This is Vishal here.
Yeah, Vishal, please introduce yourself. Yeah, and then.
Yes, thank you so much. So I know you personally as well. So thank you, Dr. Karthik, for providing this platform for us. So to introduce myself, I'm Dr. Vishal Mitkari. I'm a Pharm.D postgraduate, 2017 batch. So now I'm working in a pharmaceutical companies in a clinical trials, clinical research, and now in medical affairs. So first of all, thanks a lot for providing this platform, and thank you for introducing Jiyyo eClinic to us. And being a Pharm.D graduate myself, I would like to encourage all the participants who are available here. They should, they should join this particular venture, and they should definitely, because we are having such a mentors like Mr. Siddharth, Dr. Abhimanyu. So I feel, and considering their profile, their background, it is something like a great opportunity for my colleagues from Pharm.D background. And just one observation which I have, Dr. Abhimanyu, I would like to know about. See, this is something like a very revolutionary thing in India. Okay, considering Jiyyo clinic, if I can consider myself from a village from Maharashtra. So this is something like a very, I can see my people knowing about their health, because the medicine practice which I can see at my village level or maybe at taluka place.
Right.
So it is really substandard. Okay. So this is something, a platform which can definitely be a revolutionary thing for the people, like, because Pharm.D itself is required to educate people in terms of their health benefits. So this is something, that's why I'm encouraging people to, Pharm.D background specifically to join this venture. And the question which I have is with reference to the emergency services.
Right.
Because, 80% of the people from villages, they'll visit clinic only when they are having any, a serious condition. This is what my personal observation is, I'm saying. So in terms of whenever we are connecting to the specialized doctors, maybe via any platform, so how we are going to manage the emergency services?
Great question. I think it's a great question. So to answer that question, we are governed by the telemedicine practice guidelines of the Government of India, which very clearly states that this is not meant for emergency services. Telemedicine consulting is not meant for emergency services. It is meant for chronic and serious conditions for sure, but it is not meant for emergency services, right? That is where they should definitely get in touch with a local doctor, somebody who can be hands-on in that kind of a situation. So there's a proper guideline. What is the prescription of the medicine that the doctors can give? So all of that is very clearly stated in the telemedicine practices guidelines, which, to give you a short answer, as I said, is for serious chronic conditions. Definitely people can be consulted, right? And people should consult, okay? But for emergency services, trauma cases, this is where they should resort to showing it to a local doctor or taking the patient as soon as possible to a local doctor.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Abhimanyu. That satisfies my question. Thank you so much.
So, Dr. Abhimanyu, I'll just add a couple of things, Vishal. Dr. Vishal, that while you are right that in rural areas many patients do not consult a specialist doctor until the problem becomes quite
severe.
Serious, but that serious condition may not still become an emergency, right? So, so telemedicine can still help a lot of people who have serious, medical condition, a chronic condition, but it's still not an emergency, right? And we see cases on a daily, almost daily basis that, a patient, whose kind of couple of fingers always remain bent, for last couple of years because of lack of proper treatment. And when he or she came to our e-clinic, our doctors advises a CT scan and figure out some malfunction or some nerve pressing in brain, right? So these things get fixed, relatively quickly, right? Because not everything, but many things do, right?
Definitely. We can be a step one, maybe for those patients, right? Yeah, great. Thank you so much, Dr. Abhimanyu and Siddharth. Thank you. So over to you, Dr. Karthik, please.
Yeah, so I was having a conversation with Dr. Vishal. So he wanted to see if he can start such a clinic for patients at his village. Earlier he was thinking that clinic should be started only by Pharm.D. I said that is not mandatory. Anybody in that village who is available, interested, can start it, and they will be supported by Pharm.D and all the team.
Yeah, because I have seen the problems. I find this particular, like this Jiyyo clinic concept, as I said, revolutionary is the only word I have.
Yeah. So, any other questions? So, Siddharth and Abhimanyu, few students were little concerned about a career in a startup, which might be uncertain. So, how can you give them confidence that they will not be losing this job after?
Certainly, I'll like to take this question.
Please.
Abhimanyu, Dr. When you can follow.
Please, absolutely.
So that's actually a very valid concern, right? And especially the turbulent times, this pandemic, economic issues, this and that, and so all I would like to kind of say that we should, while on one hand there is always some element of uncertainty in startups and those things, but on other hand there could be some very strong trends and signals which, as young guys, you should especially pay attention to, either for Jiyyo or any other company, right? So for example, what you should think about regarding joining any company you come across is what dimension they are in and how much of unfulfilled potential exists in that direction. So that's actually should be a very strong indicator. Okay. Now, because there are certain spaces which are kind of nicely saturated, for example, e-commerce and certain other things where they're strong established players, right? So there, for a startup, it's kind of much more uphill task, right? So that's kind of one indicator. So in our case, 600,000 villages without doctors. Oh man. So we, Dr. Abhimanyu and I and many people in our team, can't have sleepless nights. We simply think, we strategize, okay, how can we get 500 more clinics in next, let's say 2 months, 3 months, strategize all these things. Because, the fact is, these 600,000 villages will not have a doctor even after 10 years. You bet, right? Does any one of you disagree with this very strong assertion? Right? Because that's how the, doctor thing is, specialist doctors are few, while population is spread across a huge area. Even in United States, you cannot expect an oncologist, cardiologist to be present in every county, right? So that's how the medical space is, and it's for the first time that telemedicine is being adopted, encouraged, and followed, across the globe. So that's kind of one thing. So we're in a very kind of, trends are super positive, with us. Number two is kind of how long the company has been operating, right? So that's the other thing. So I'm not saying that companies who are younger have, less staying power than companies. No, it's all the way there. But the way we have been progressing all this time, we are just adding more and more to our knowledge base and our footprint, across the nation. We recently shot a ad shoot with a celebrity, so that will come out in a couple of weeks. So that should also increase the confidence. So, but and you can also see some level of confidence in how we are saying and maybe what we have done before this thing. So we are super bullish, needless to say. Yeah. So Dr. Abhimanyu, do you have anything to add? Or yeah.
Absolutely. So see, that is about the trend. Then what is the kind of team that you're going to be part of? This is a team that is going to constantly challenge you for more. So if you are not up for challenges, then this is definitely not a place for you to come. But if you're a person who's up for challenges, a person who constantly wants to grow, a person who has an entrepreneurial-based mindset, a mindset which is constantly looking for answers, looking for solutions, looking for bigger problems to solve, right? We have an absolutely democratic way of being. We don't, as they say, we don't wear our stripes on our shoulders. We are constantly looking for what is a great idea. Anybody from our team can contribute a great idea. And if that idea has been thought about from the idea to the implementation, right through and through, we are all ears. We are all ready to encourage such thinking. So that is as a culture that we bring. We bring a culture where you will get a chance of constantly adding to your knowledge, even from a clinical pharmacist standpoint, where if you want to do your research, if you want to go ahead and you've discovered a trend, you want to go ahead and write about it, please, by all means, we're going ahead and also looking at supporting that. We are looking at getting a team lead who's an experienced clinical pharmacist so that person can guide you in writing those papers. So we want to encourage such behavior, and that's why this is a place of pure growth along with the bullish trend that Siddharth you talked about.
Yeah. And I'll add something about the financial thing as well, right? So, financially, Jiyyo is super strong. We are at almost break even right now. We have, almost no burn rate. We are backed by investors who are executives in Google, Microsoft, Facebook, Amazon, these things. So things are super positive. We have cash in bank, which will last us for more than 12 months. So, and we are in talks with several big VCs this year to raise a mammoth funding round this year. So a bunch of things going on.
Yeah, so that gives a lot of confidence. And my simple take here is, if you join, it is just a matter of job for you, but for them it is their life. They have invested everything in that company. Definitely they will sustain. If company shutdowns, they will be at big loss, not you. You can maybe always find a other job. Okay. And Siddharth, so initially the priority was to get the e-clinic started, just stabilize that process. And now you came up with adding a clinical pharmacist component to e-clinic to improve the quality of care. So what are the other things in your mind which you want to start, if you want to disclose?
Yeah. No, inside our company, we frequently exchange, this kind of a phrase that abhi to party shuru hui hai. The party has just begun. Okay. And that's actually not a mantra or any morale booster thing. Actually, that's the reality, right? I think some smart person I heard, he was saying that, today is the first day of your remaining life, right? So why not make the best out of it? Isn't that true? So kind of, these thoughts, they also give you some, positive energy and help you deal with some, big problems. So coming specifically to your, question, Dr. Karthik. So of course, our, one huge priority is to set up e-clinics across all districts, of India, and hopefully in next maybe couple of years, all Gram Panchayats of India as well. So that will be, could be an extremely big thing. But secondly, we also want to run our operations in a very, effective, professional and smart manner, right? Hundreds of thousands of, these patients coming from thousands of e-clinics, talking to doctors who are not exposed to such a platform before, online platform before, there are some challenges, right? Now, how to better fix those challenges is up to our imagination. There is no rule book available in the market you can purchase and figure out, okay, how to solve these problems. No, we are actually a pioneer, right? In this thing, Jiyyo is a pioneer in this thing, setting up hundreds of e-clinics and making them talk to doctors who are in cities, and solve each other's problems, right? So this solving this coordination thing is kind of another, big thing. Dr. Abhimanyu's team is working tirelessly to that. And then we have, the patient now who can be serviced in many different aspects. See, that patient is going through a distress, right? He has actually an ailment in his body, right? He's not a regular consumer like in e-commerce or any other entertainment industry that he's there for fun or maybe some other thing. He's actually, suffering, in his body, some ailment. So handling that kind of, customer, so to speak, requires some empathy, a lot of empathy, sympathy, smartness, know-how of medical things. So there, Pharm.D students can, play amazing role, a great role. So, and that will challenge you as well sometimes because, for example, a prescription handed out to certain patients might have costly medicines. Otherwise it is great, but just that it is costly. Now, how to solve that challenge? Sometimes the tests are overprescribed, underprescribed, how to detect them. Anyone can make mistakes. So creating a system which can dynamically, smartly, quickly solve such problems, right? So that is, again, we foresee a lot of work. We would be doing a lot of work in that direction. And so that's, a third thing. Now, the fourth thing is, and there are many such things. I can keep, talking about this thing, but I would like to mention this specific aspect because it is very close to my heart as well. And I feel it is very important. And that is the artificial intelligence based usage of patient data, anonymous patient data. So now I would just give you one example because AI can appear kind of a very big subject or maybe too fuzzy. For example, we are discussing that in next 6 months we will make it mandatory that every patient entering a Jiyyo e-clinic, his or her chest sound will be recorded through a digital stethoscope, okay, and stored permanently in that patient's record. And after this thing, the patient will be, of course, talking to the doctor where diagnosis, symptoms, patient history will also be recorded. Then this chest sound, if mapped to the diagnosis and patient history, and if this is done over hundreds of thousands of patients, now I think that will have tremendous research value which entire humanity can benefit from, right? And none of this data exists, I think, in the planet at this scale as of now. Maybe 50 chest sounds here and there, no. But if, because such e-clinics are so affordable, they can be opened up in a large swath, of areas. Making such policies mandatory can immediately make us beneficiary of huge amount of data which we can utilize. So this is just one example. Now, same can be talked about ECG, ECG data, ultrasound data. Again, lot of such things as well. So that's why I say abhi the party has just begun. There are a lot of rock and roll music gonna come in this way. Yeah, Dr. Karthik.
Yeah, so again, my take here would be community is where most of the patients see a doctor. And at Jiyyo, I can promise you that you will have that freedom to put your knowledge into practice, to share your ideas, discuss with team. I don't think any other organization will give you that freedom to be involved as a part of team, ask you for suggestion, put your knowledge in practice. There are a lot of restrictions, limitations with the existing opportunities. But I think with Jiyyo, you have heard them very clearly. You will be put to best use. Okay. So you should take this opportunity up. And are there any questions on YouTube? Can somebody see and post it here? And also we will be posting the Google Form link. Alvin, did we already keep it on YouTube?
Yes,
Hello?
sir. Feedback form has been kept in YouTube description, video description.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, that's not a feedback form. It is a form to express interest to become a clinical pharmacist. So I have one last question. So Siddharth, ideally, I like the fact that you want to take a graduate who can commit full time. But do you think there is an opportunity for students in their 5th year or 6th year to be part of this initiative and contribute as an intern?
So there is always an opportunity for any talented guy in any organization, right? So I would say yes, that thing is there. We just need to be understand, be able to understand the time commitment, for the next so many months or on a daily basis, those things. So those things should be a little bit clear, I think. Yeah, other than that, yeah.
Yes, so that is very clear. So any company will look to take people provided they are consistent. They should clearly say that they will be available for let's say next 6 months, 4 hours every day. In that case, we can take the discussion forward and include in whatever capacity. And now I request all the participants here and even those who are on YouTube, you can share this video with your contacts who might be looking for opportunities. And most of the Pharm.Ds really want to work as a clinical pharmacist. They are forced to work in other areas like clinical research, etc., which I don't say is not unrelated to Pharm.D, but that is not truly what we are meant to do, because there they see growth prospects in terms of both position and money after a certain time. So most of them, unfortunately, are not into clinical pharmacy practice. Even those who are into clinical pharmacy practice, the organization is not giving them the core role or the freedom to put all their knowledge into practice. So I think here they will get that opportunity to implement everything they want to implement as a clinical pharmacist. Okay, so here nobody will stop you from doing all that. So if there are any questions from participants or any feedback, we can take now. It is open.
Hello, sir. Uh, Good evening, sir. I want to give my feedback. Um, I want to say that Jiyyo Clinics is doing amazing job. Like everybody gets a thought that oh, we see the rural areas and they are not having enough facilities, but you have taken a step to improve their situation, and that is really appreciable. And thank you for trying to involve all kinds of professional into this, including Pharm.D, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Karthik, can I add something here? Maybe a question to Dr. Abhimanyu specifically.
Sure.
So, Dr. Abhimanyu, this is regarding the other community pharmacy services which a pharmacist can provide. Maybe a flu shot or maybe vaccination. So, can we do all this, like, basic things, considering people from rural areas? So, can we, like, through via Jiyyo Clinic, can a Jiyyo Clinic be a platform for all these things?
See, here's the thing. Now, Jiyyo Clinic is a platform which is based on telemedicine consulting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I, again, would repeat, goes as per everything that is permitted in that. Now, if you have to give a flu shot, that you need to have the credentials for on ground to be able to do that. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
So as long as you have those credentials, that is the practice that you can continue yourself. Now, what Jiyyo is doing is Jiyyo is adding that multi-speciality availability to you, where now sitting at that remote corner, you have the availability of PGI, AIMS, Apollo, all these pedigreed doctors who have had that exposure at your disposal, available for each of your patients.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much, Dr. Abhimanyu. So, do we have like specific working hours, like 9 to 5 we will be working, so that during that particular period only we can get teleconsultation from for the patients, or we can get it 24/7.
Beautiful question. So as of now, we start off from 8 o'clock in the morning, and we take our OPDs go on till 10 o'clock. But have there been situations when in the middle of the night we've had OPDs? Yes. We do plan to take it further than 10 o'clock at night also. But as of now, it's 8 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. And we have 2 shifts, okay, for our Pharm.D graduates. We've got 2 shifts. One is from 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 in the evening. The other shift is from 1 o'clock in the afternoon to 10 at night. So these are the 2 shifts in which, on a monthly rotational basis, so you are given a roster for a month. So you can plan your month. You know which day is going to be off, right? We work 6 days a week. You know which day is off, and you can plan your entire month for that. So your shift is going to remain the same for 1 month. Then it's going to shift. Your weekly off is going to shift. Yeah. So that's how we function.
Okay. And one last point from my end. So this is with respect to the database we are going to generate. Okay. As Siddharth was mentioning about the recording of heart sound. So that's one part, considering a diabetic patient. So we can have a huge database of, these patients, and considering India, considering Asian population, we have very least of studies, for our population. So this is going to be a huge requirement for the globe, I can say that. Okay. But to get that particular data, a good quality data, we'll need to have a patient consent, then again the regular follow-ups of the patients. So just for an example, if a diabetic patient is coming to us, his first visit, his next follow-up visit, his a coming follow-up visit, so that particular database will need to have. So do we have a system for that?
Great question. Our system does capture. So we do encourage follow-up visits. In fact, in a certain time period, depending on whether it's a general practitioner they're showing themselves to, whether it's a specialist or a super specialist, there's certain time period that we've even kept free of cost for them, right? Free of cost for them, so that they're encouraged to follow up. And in fact, our team, and that is going to be this team again, does call up the patients to take feedback and to encourage them to have the follow-up visits.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much, Dr. Abhimanyu. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Yeah, there are some questions from YouTube. Can we consider Jiyyo clinical pharmacist as a full-time job or not? So I think that question is already answered. It is a full-time job. So though I was requesting them to consider some part-time, they said we want full-time, because that is how it operates. You will be talking to the clinics assigned to you every day. You will develop rapport with them. It is a full-time job. can you please start Jiyyo e-clinic in Maharashtra villages? So if you are in Maharashtra, you should be starting it. Jiyyo can support you, and the process is very simple and straightforward. You can identify the village where you want to start. You can have a small place. It need not be a great place, and then connect with Jiyyo team. Their marketing team is like super fast. Okay, so I think your clinic can show up on map behind Abhimanyu in no time.
Yeah, maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed, Dr. Karthik.
And actually, Dr. Karthik, we already have a e-clinic in Maharashtra, in Osmanabad district, Kalamb town.
Sir, I am from Kalam only.
Oh,
And actually, I was thinking about Kalam, to plan a Jiyyo clinic. So it is already there, then I have to check it out.
Each Jiyyo clinic in an urban area caters, so we let only one e-clinic in a 2-kilometer circle. So if Kalamb is a bigger town, then it can accommodate more than a single Jiyyo clinic, right?
Great to know that, but it is really great to know that, because I was thinking about that only, because I belong to that place. I know how important it is for those people. Great to know that. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, Siddharth and Dr. Abhimanyu, Vishal studied in Maharashtra. So he has a lot of his classmates and juniors who might be looking for opportunities. So we request you to share this video with all of them. And if somebody is really sincere, they have basic decent knowledge, and more importantly, they are passionate about patient care. Like Jiyyo is looking to hire 20 people. Okay. I don't think
Surely
any
I'll do my part.
organization will hire 20 clinical pharmacists at one go.
So, Dr. Vishal, if you happen to know any passionate guy, sales guy in Osmanabad area or Kalamb area, we would love to hire him, right? Because Jiyyo clinics, are operated is, of course, they can be set up online. Everything is online, but they also need some level of local on-ground support, right? Sometimes setting up a health camp. Sometimes if some equipment is not running, then person can go and fix it or train them or just boost their morale. See, the biggest capital we all have is morale, right? Without morale, it's nothing. So so the on-ground presence helps build the morale, the local.
Okay. Great. So the which guy, sir? I didn't get the word properly. Like
Passionate.
sales guy, sales guy we are looking.
Sales guy, or someone who can talk.
Who can be a support. Got it. I'll definitely see from my end what can be done. Thank you so much.
And actually, as a matter of fact, we hire son of the soil and daughters, sons and daughters of the soil, right? The local people who can mingle well, who can understand local concern. Yeah.
Great. Surely. I can definitely work on it. Definitely.
So we have a question from Bhaskar. Bhaskar is from Assam, studying in Rajasthan. So this guy can help us in both locations. So where is Jiyyo e-clinic in Assam? Which part?
Hojai district. Hojai.
Yeah, Bhaskar, is that your question is answered? Yeah. So any more questions if you have, or any feedback we can take and we can end.
Good evening, sir. I'm Rohit Agarwal from Nagpur. Sir, how do you overcome to the fact that still part of a population doesn't have access to the digital media and the Android phones? So how do you overcome to that?
So, so the question is, how much we need to overcome that fact. So that's a question which needs some a little bit of an inspection, because see, setting up a e-clinic in a village or a town is at actually one specific location, and that location is already run by a healthcare professional, right? So quite likely, which means let's say 80%, 90% of the times they do have something, some smartphone, because they're business owners, they run the business already, right? So But if we talk about the general population of a village, then smartphone penetration certainly is less than 50% or less than 40%. So yes, so you're right there. But we kind of circumvent that deficiency by finding out one guy who has a smartphone, who already happens to run a medical store or those things, and quite likely he will have access to a smartphone. Now, regarding internet, so since I think the Reliance Jio has come out, internet availability in the hinterland, has improved substantially. Okay, so the very fact that we see teleconsultations from Hojai in Assam and Kalamb in Osmanabad and Rajasthan, so practically indicates that internet, although not of world-class level, okay, but still is so much that it can help the consultations get started and help the guys who have no specialist support at all, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, and Rohit, actually here, patient need not have a smartphone. He will visit a Jio e-clinic. The health partner who is running that e-clinic has a smartphone. So patients can access doctors to his platform. It need not be their own smartphone. So we have a few responses from YouTube. So Dr. Dhanush Yadav says he wants to start Jio Clinic. So you can reach out to us. You can, I think, see the number on your screen, or Alvin, you can post our number in the chat box. So you can contact us, or even you can open the Jio website and contact the number there. They will help you, tell you all the process to start this clinic. Can we start it in Kerala? We would love to have clinics in South India. Right now, we have most of them are in the north. So like 1 year back, I tried.
So
I'll
just mention one thing, that the other day we were approached by a guy from sub-Saharan, belt in Africa, asking like how we can do it in that area. So I think whoever asked this question, Sithara Tulsidharan, we are talking global thing. Kerala is our backyard, so why not? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So, and there are a few questions about how to start e-clinic. All that I think we can answer. You can reach out to us. We can tell you. And the process is very simple and straightforward. You express interest, then team from Jio will contact you, will give you all details, and you can get it started. Like very shortly. It will not take much time. Okay, so Siddharth and Dr. Abhimanyu, thank you so much for taking your time and creating opportunities for Pharm.Ds, giving them an opportunity to put their knowledge into practice. That is what I mentioned in the flyer also. Give them an opportunity to do what they are meant to do, and more importantly, serve the patients in villages, because maybe people in city have some kind of support. Either they see a doctor, somebody in their family is educated to tell them about their disease, medication, health, etc. You are doing great job, and let's hope. See, most of the times we complain there are no opportunities. Now 20 opportunities are in front of you, and we hope we recruit 20 people as soon as possible. And another aspect I want to mention here, which shows the company's vision. They are also looking to hire a person with 3 to 4 years of clinical pharmacist experience to manage these 20 people. They could have simply run the show with, let's say, 5-10 people. So why do you think they need 20? And why do you think they need a person who can manage these 20 people? So this clearly shows the long-term vision and the commitment with which they want to provide care to villages. So yeah, this is an appeal. And anyways, I'm integral part of Jio. I'll be working with all new recruits and see that Pharm.Ds can add value to Jio vision and not just Jio giving us opportunities. We'll make sure, we really want to make sure that Pharm.Ds contribution will be there for Jio to accomplish its mission of serving all the 6 lakhs villages in India, and not just care, but the quality of care. So we are excited. So thank you so much. And if you have any concluding remarks, you can do, and we can end.
So thanks, Dr. Karthik. It was again lovely, attending and talking in the webinar of Pharm.D people. And I look forward with super enthusiasm about regarding the so many opportunities we have in the path in front of us, and hope to see a lot of Pharm.D guys joining us, the bandwagon. Yeah, and be innovators, and not just be employees. Yes. Yeah. Dr. Abhimanyu, if you have any thoughts.
Fantastically put, Siddharth. I think fantastically put. And I can only tell you this, that when you are joining us, you're joining a family, and along with that, what you're joining is you're actually joining what we call ourselves. We call ourselves Jiyyo Indian Health Army. Our aim is to reach every small little nook and corner of our country and ensure that we revolutionize the healthcare practices, not just for India, but make it. We in fact talk about it. We aim to make Jiyyo the first Indian $1 trillion organization. That's our big, lofty, audacious, hairy goal.
And that's great. So, and one last thing, it is work from home opportunity. Okay. So what more can I say? You'll be sitting at your home, just open your laptop and work. You don't have to travel. And anyways, if you like traveling, Jiyyo, I think, meets every 6 months, 1 year. We can also meet in person and discuss, interact. And if you perform really well, you will get an award also. I have seen few pictures on LinkedIn, etc. So again, like basically you will not have any expenses to take care. All the money you get as salary, it is completely yours. Okay. So Siddharth and Dr. Abhimanyu, let's hope we will recruit 20 Pharm.Ds by end of this month and get started. And I will be connecting you to few colleges in those states also. I already talked to them and I will forward few resumes. Sure. Okay, so thanks everybody for joining, and let's hope all of you will contribute to Jiyyo's mission, become part of Indian Healthcare Army, and see we serve 6 lakh villages of India.
Absolutely. Brilliant.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Okay.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much, Dr. Karthik. Dr. Abhimanyu, it's great to know you. Siddharth, thank you so much.
Awesome.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.